Yes, ma'am.
So today we're going to talk about the Olympics. The Winter Olympics has just finished. Did anyone watch it? Did anyone watch the Winter Olympics set in China?
I just watched opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony, how was it? Did you enjoy it, Zishan?
Absolutely, ma'am. That was amazing. They used the latest techniques, latest things. The science and technology, and the Chinese always give shock to the world. So they maintain this legacy even in this opening of winter. So do you know, ma'am? It has become the most watched opening ceremony.
I didn't know that. I haven't even seen it yet. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I will watch it.
You
I know they
must
use
watch it.
drones. They use drones to make pictures. Is that right?
Yeah, ma'am, drones, and it looked like the whole ground is screen. So you can watch everything wherever your eyes go. So it was amazing. It was a wonderful experience.
Great. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I just want to quickly answer Avinash's question about pronouncing words like asked. Well, asked is a good example of words that end in ed. It's about learning them because, so we have the word asked. Asked actually has a T sound. That's what it sounds like, asked. So some ed words sound like ed, like ed at the end. They sound like they have a D. Called has a D sound, called, but asked actually has a T sound, asked, asked. So in English, the way we pronounce things is not always the way it's spelled. So you can learn there's a list of different pronunciations for words that end in ed. Some of them sound like t at the end, and some of them sound like the, called, asked. So if you learn that, you will hopefully find it easier to pronounce those. But if you remember with asked, that's basically how it sounds. Asked, you have the t sound, asked. So that's the way to remember it. But there are very different versions of how to pronounce ed. You have the D sound, the T sound, and some of them even sound like id at the end. So those are little tricks to help you remember how to pronounce it. So I hope that answers your question, Avinash. Hi, Jakshu. So did anyone else watch the Olympic opening ceremony or any sport the last few weeks?
Good
Like
evening,
Z-
ma'am.
Good evening. Who's that?
Asma. How are you,
Hi,
ma'am?
Asma. I'm good. How are you? Welcome back.
I'm good.
Did you watch the Olympics, Asma?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, what's the topic for today? I just joined.
The Olympics. So we're going to talk about the Olympics. We're going to think about some general knowledge to do with the Olympics. So do some quizzes. And then we're going to come to the main topic that I think was quite interesting this Winter Olympics was the issue of dual nationality, especially because it was in China. Most Chinese residents, nationals. Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, the Winter Olympic hosted by China.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good word, Haman. Exactly. They hosted it. So the host is the person who puts on the party at any kind of celebration. So you're right. It was hosted by China. Exactly. And this Olympic Games was quite interesting because a lot of young athletes, so athletes, the name for the people that compete. An athlete is a sports person. So a lot of the young sports people had dual nationality. There were 3 of them who had American nationality, American citizenship, and Chinese citizenship. And 2 of them decided to compete for China, and one of them decided to compete for America. So quite interesting tensions and issues that were brought up. Maybe some of you heard of the Aileen Hu, the skier. Did anyone hear of her? She won a gold medal. She competed for China, but she was born in America. I don't know if anyone heard this story. We're going to think about it in a moment towards the end of the lesson, but did anyone hear about the story?
Good evening, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi, Abe. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I am good, ma'am. How about you, ma'am?
I'm good. Did you have a good day,
How is
Abe?
the weather, ma'am? How is the
It's
weather?
lovely. It's lovely.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Topic,
So
ma'am?
we are doing the Winter Olympic Games. They just finished 2 days ago.
Okay,
Did you
ma'am.
watch them? Did you watch the Olympic Games? Abe, did you watch the Olympic Games?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you watch the opening ceremony like Zishan?
Not.
Not really. Did you watch the closing ceremony? They usually have a closing ceremony.
No, ma'am. I didn't. I didn't celebrate winter closing, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the end of the celebrations, the end of the games. They host a closing ceremony to show that it's finished as well. Maha mentioned, can you do a topic on ethnic friends? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Do you mean on other countries? Let me know. Just give me a bit more detail, Maha. Okay, so if you watch the Winter Olympic Games, let me know if you know any stories on the Olympic Games that happened. If you watched any sports, let me know. We're going to do a quiz, and then we're going to come back to this topic about dual nationality, the young people who had citizenship from China and America. Some of them decided to compete for China. Some of them decided to compete for America. And yes, Aman?
Ma'am, the Winter Olympic Olympic it was hosted by China, but
Yeah.
I but I did not I didn't knowledge knowledge I did not knowledge about Winter Olympics. But
Okay.
I know the Winter Olympic it was hosted by China.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there were some issues. There were issues about human rights. A lot of the athletes were asked about human rights issues in China. Aileen Gu, who decided to compete for China, but was born in America, she was asked about this question a lot. She did very well. She got a gold medal. She got lots of sponsorships in China. Zhu Yi didn't do as well, and she got a lot of negative responses from Chinese citizens who were angry that she was chosen by China to represent them when she was American. So two similar stories, two very different outcomes. Aileen Gu is very popular in China now. She's won lots of sponsorships. She's made a lot of money. Zhu Yi, on the other hand, is really disliked in China. Maha says, I don't know about the Olympics at all. It's an interesting topic. Great. So we're going to think about...
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Sumit. How are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Did you watch the Olympics?
No, ma'am, never. Even
okay.
In India, cricket is more famous rather than Olympic.
Okay, well, we're going to start with some basic quizzes to think about the Olympics, to think about the history, and then we'll come on to specific things. Shlendra, yes?
Yeah, ma'am, I know about the controversy of human rights and the Olympics.
Yeah.
If you want, I can speak on this.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that people who were born in America, should they have represented China, if they had a bit of Chinese sort of, if they had parents who were born in China, do you think it was an issue they should have cared about? Do you think more should have been done by the Olympic Committee? What do you think?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm not talking about that issue, ma'am. I'm talking about the human rights violation in Xinjiang province of China, ma'am. Uyghur Muslims.
Yeah, but that's part of the issue. So should the athletes have stood up and said something about the issue?
Yeah, ma'am. They should say. And ma'am, even ma'am, some countries like America USA, Britain, Canada, and Australia, even India boycotted the Winter Olympics, and they did not send their diplomats to the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, do you think it was the right thing to do?
Yeah, ma'am, it is the right thing because, ma'am, there is a lot, ma'am, there is a huge censorship in India, China. There are lots of lakhs of cameras, and even they don't allow people to speak against their government. So, ma'am, it is very wrong.
Do you think that the Americans should have boycotted the Olympics?
Ma'am, I don't think, ma'am, boycotting will affect the China. It is a very big country, and it is now economical power. So, and ma'am, see, ma'am, China has a economical relationship with lots of countries. So, ma'am, only 2 or 3 countries will not be able to put pressure on China if all the countries if all the country become unite and then they put pressure, then it will work.
Yeah, that's
But
a very good point.
it is a sport, so it is a sport, so we should not involve sports in all these things. But yeah, ma'am, it is wrong what China has been doing in Xinjiang province.
Yeah. What does everyone else think? Do you think it was right to boycott? Let's think about this word. Does everyone know what the word boycott means? It means when you refuse to participate in some way something because you don't think something is right. So Canada and the UK boycotted the games. That means they refused to participate because of the human rights issues in China. Did anyone else see news on this issue, or does anyone else have an opinion on this issue? Okay, well, we're going to come back to this issue. Let's think about the basics of the Olympics, so the kinds of sports that people can join or do for the Olympics. So we're not just talking about the last Winter Olympics, we're talking about Winter Olympics in general at the moment. So let's just have a look at the basic types of sports that people do in the Olympics. So a little bit of a riddle here. Which sport is the odd one out? What do you think? There's 3 sports here that people can compete in for the Winter Olympics, that are part of the Winter Olympics. Which is the odd one out? There is a reason. Okay, why do you think C is the odd one out?
Because, ma'am, I haven't seen these sports in Winter Olympics.
Okay,
ma'am, I know, yeah, ma'am. And ma'am, first one I know, second one I also know is skating, but snowboarding, I think, ma'am, it is, ma'am, I'm not convinced, sure about this, but ma'am, I think C is the odd one out.
Okay, interesting. Sarika is talking about the boycotts. Sarika said American. Why do you think the first one?
First one, because 2 men are sleepy, and second and third in the birth related.
You are right. Well, the first one has 2 people. The second one has just 1 person. The third one also has 1 person. There's another reason. A is the odd one out because you lie down for the luge. The other sports are standing up. So Shailendra, you said you've never seen sort of snowboarding in the Olympics, but it is a sport as part of the Winter Olympics. So well done, Dipali.
Men are slide in the snow.
Yeah, well, they have a special tunnel. It's not really snow. It's not made out of snow, it'd be a bit dangerous. It's a special tunnel. We're going to think about these different sports in a moment. But Sarika makes a good point. She says the American president has to think why, if countries like India, Canada, and the UK boycotted the Winter Olympics, then why shouldn't we as well? That's a really good point, Sarika.
And first one is the basic uniform in two boys, and uh, her position, him position is standing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main reason. Sarika says, what is the meaning of luge? The luge is the sport, also the name of the sort of the thing that they lie on. So it's the name of a sport. Like the middle one is skiing. Then we have snowboarding. These are different sports in the Winter Olympics. So we have a lot of people from India. Let me know if you think that your country did the right thing to boycott the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. Do you agree with that? What do you think about that? That's sort of the underlying issues that were happening during the Olympics and the issues of nationality and human rights. Okay, let's think of another one. Which is the odd one out here? What do we think? Maybe a bit easier than the other one.
It is a tennis court. It is not related to Winter Olympics.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's not a Winter Olympic sport. It is a Summer Olympic sport, though. They do play tennis in the Summer Olympics. Okay, what about this one? Which is the odd one out here? What do we think?
Third one.
C.
Why do you think C?
Hockey, man. Hockey type game.
It's not hockey. It's actually curling.
This figure is different, ma'am.
Say it again, Abe.
Ma'am, C is the difference to from other.
I can't quite hear you back.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what is curling?
So that is curling. Let's go back. Curling is when they have something that they have to hit. They try and reach this goal in the middle. They push it and they brush a broom to make the surface smooth, less friction, less stopping.
Curling.
It's called curling. Yeah. So this sport is called curling. This is called cross-country skiing because it's not downhill, it's flat. They kind of have to walk while they ski. And here we have ice hockey. So you could think of other reasons why some of these might be the odd one out. You might have different reasons, but we can also say that B is the odd one out because it doesn't have snow. Sorry, it does have snow. The others don't require snow. So the curling happens on a man-made surface, and so does ice hockey. So this one is also outdoors, whereas the other sports are indoors. Okay. What is this? Does anyone know? It's part of one of the sports. Maha says the Winter Olympic Games are a large-scale international multi-sport competition held every 4 years. What a fantastic description of the Olympic Games. That's exactly what they are, Maha. And you've put some beautiful decoration around your name in the chat. It's very impressive. Yes, that's exactly what the Winter Olympic Games are. Let's see if we can show your comment. There we go. It's exactly what they are. They're a large-scale international multi-sport competition held every 4 years. And the sports have to be winter-based sports. Okay, excellent, Maha. Thanks for that comment. So what does anyone think? Has anyone recognized this picture? What is it? Does anyone know what it could be? Any guesses? Is it a boat? Is it something you slide on? Is it a shoe? Does anyone want to guess?
It's the car in which two players are, I guess.
Quite here, the sound's not very good, but this is what it is. So it's part of the bobsleigh. Do you know the bobsleigh? So it's the bobsled. It's again something that you sit in, bit like the luge. You go in a tunnel except instead of completely lying down, they're usually a little bit more upright. So it's a bit different from the luge. Maha also says the Winter Olympic Games are not like the Summer Olympic Games in that the sports are practiced on snow and ice. Excellent. Yeah, very true, Maha. Great descriptions. Maha says Olympic Games was held in 1924 in Chemnitz, France. Yeah. And we're going to think about when the first Olympic Games were held and where were they held. Do we know the history of the Olympic Games? It's very interesting. Lots to think about. Okay. What is this? Do we know what this is? This happens every Olympic Games. Winter Olympic.
Winter baton, ma'am.
What is it?
Baton, ma'am, baton. Olympics baton.
The baton, yeah. So yeah, the torch, the flame. The baton is usually how they carry the flame, but yeah, this is the torch that represents the spirit of the Olympic Games. And the reason that they light it for every Olympic Games, summer,
Olympic torch.
Winter, yeah, it's the Olympic torch, exactly. So the reason that they light it goes back to the history. And it's very interesting. Okay. What about the next one? What do we think this is?
When China's flag.
Yeah, of course, who hosted the Winter Olympics that finished 2 days ago. Okay, so just some questions, thinking about which sports you would rather do. So we've seen some common sports, ice skating, skiing. Which do you think you would rather do? Which sport would you rather experience, skiing or ice skating? I want to know your opinions.
I would rather go with skiing, ma'am.
Why?
I like this ice mountain places.
Okay. So you want to go into into sort of the
Mountain.
beautiful areas. Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Does anyone else want to share?
But in my opinion, ma'am, both are challenging and risky also sometimes. Because
Yeah, definitely.
everyone thinks that they are very easy, but if we do them without good practice, we may get severe injuries. We may face severe injuries.
Definitely, they're both very dangerous. I have done ice skating before and skiing, but ice skating, I remember my mother broke her shoulder when we went ice skating, and that's just at the beginner level, so it is very dangerous. Has anyone ever done one of these sports before? Skiing or ice skating? Let me know. Does anyone else want to share their opinion about which they would rather do?
Ma'am, I would like to do, ma'am, ski, ma'am.
Skiing, why would you prefer to try skiing?
Because, ma'am, it is outside outdoor sports, outdoor winter sports, and there it is a very adventurous. There you will get to see mountains and you need to maneuver between these mountains. So, ma'am, it is very adventurous sport. Ma'am, but I would like to share one fact. Ma'am, you might have known Michael Schumacher.
Yes, remind me who he is. My memory has just gone.
Yeah, ma'am. Michael Schumacher, ma'am, he was the F1 racer, F1 car racer.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I don't know which sports he was playing, ma'am. He got injured, and now, ma'am, I think he is in coma. Michael Schumacher.
I didn't know that. Okay, that's awful. Okay, very interesting, very sad. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Lots of people die from skiing. You might know sort of Liam Neeson. His wife died sort of skiing. My cousin fell off a cliff skiing and he had to be rushed to hospital. It is very dangerous. Both these sports are very, very dangerous. Winter sports do tend to be a little bit more dangerous than summer sports. Lots of accidents.
Good evening.
Hi, Leiba. Leiba, sorry, how are you, Leiba?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, I would like to say, yeah. Can you please go back to the previous question?
Yeah, which one would you rather do? skiing or ice skating?
Yeah, I will go with ski. Ski and the second option was, I guess, can you please go back to the last question?
The one before this? What is
Yeah,
this?
ice skating. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I will go with ice skating because, as you said, as the previous speaker also said, it's less dangerous than the skiing. And the first reason to choose this is that it's more graceful. Like if you are doing ice skating, it's first of all it's indoor, and it's look like it's more graceful than skiing. That skiing is more challenging and dangerous, and if you got injured, it will be a great danger to yourself and your health.
Yeah, exactly. So great answers, Leba. Thank you. What about snowboarding or ice hockey? Both are again dangerous. Maybe you could argue that ice hockey is a little bit less dangerous because they have protection and it's in a sort of enclosed space. Would anyone like to try one of these?
I would go with go snowboarding, ma'am, because
Why snow?
We should try some kind of adventures. That's why they're called as adventure sports. Means if we just take some kind of coaching, and if we do snowboarding, then definitely it could be like a fun.
Yeah, I think you're right that with snowboarding it is adventurous. You seem to be quite adventurous, Kartik. You like trying new things. It is part of this sort of extreme sports. There's that definition, and snowboarding definitely comes under those extreme sports, and you do get to see beautiful things. They're definitely a bit dangerous. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Kartik. Anyone else?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to play, ma'am, ice hockey because, ma'am, India's national game is hockey. So now, ma'am, I want to make a team of ice hockey, and so that we can win gold medal in ice hockey also.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Win ice hockey and hockey. Maybe, do you think it requires some of the same skills?
Yeah,
ice hockey.
yeah.
Okay,
almost,
interesting.
I think, ma'am, 50 to 60% rules are mostly same, but you need to maneuver and you need to move on the ice. So
yeah,
ma'am.
So you need to ice skate as well.
Yeah, ma'am. And
ma'am,
yeah, and it is, ma'am, our national game, hockey. So yeah, ma'am, that's why I would like to play ice hockey.
Yeah, okay, great. Sarika gives a similar answer to Kartik. She says snowboarding because it's adventurous. Very interesting. You and Kartik are both very adventurous. Okay. What about this? Would you rather go to the Winter Olympics? So we've seen some of the sports that you can do in the Winter Olympics. We looked at the luge, curling, ice hockey, ice skating, skiing, snowboarding, quite dangerous ones, or the Summer Olympics, tennis, football.
Yes, hello. I would like to go for the Summer Olympics because it's more popular than Winter Olympics. More people see Summer Olympics, and there is a huge audience always in Summer Olympics. So I would first of all, because of this reason, and secondly, in Summer Olympics there is a huge variety of games like indoors, outdoors. You can play hockey, athletics. There is a number of events you can participate in. There are more events in Summer Olympics than Winter Olympics.
Some great reasons, Leba. Thank you for giving such great explanations. So more sports, more popular, really good. Sarika says, although I don't know playing any games, but I would like to learn. It's not easy. You're right, it's not easy. Do you think it's possible to go to the Olympics later in life? Does anyone know a story of someone sort of learning later? Okay, last question. Which would you rather, win 1 gold medal or win 2 silver medals? It's all hypothetical, all thinking about what could happen. I know none of us are probably likely to win, but thinking about it, what do you think, Dipali?
First medal is gold medal, highest medal, and second is silver medal, level 2. And silver medal give to both of them, but gold medal is one of person.
So which would you prefer to have? Would you rather say, I have a gold medal or I have 2 silver medals?
Yes, ma'am.
Which would you prefer, 1 gold medal or 2 silver medals?
1 gold medal.
Okay, because it's the best. I see. Anyone else have a different opinion? Yes, Abe?
My opinion is gold medal is importance medal compared to silver medal, and gold medal is a very high impressive medal for our country and other country also.
Okay, so having
if my country win the gold medal, then very important and very appreciate medal.
Yeah. That's true. It does. Yes.
Ma'am, gold medal give winner person.
Yeah, you're right. It is like being the winner.
First winner person, and silver medal gives first winner person defect. Ma'am, the silver medal give defect person.
Yeah, so maybe less pride. It's better to have a gold medal. It's kind of better. You have won. I think, as Abe said, you're the winner. Yes, Shalendra?
Ma'am, I have one question, ma'am. How do they calculate which country is the highest medal winner, by gold medal or by total medals, ma'am?
A mixture. So they do it by total, but they start off listing in order the gold medals, who has first, and then they look at the silver, and then they look at the bronze and the total. They do a combination of things. So I think it's usually in order of who won the most gold medals, but silver is also taken into account, and so is bronze, but in lesser degrees.
Okay.
So if you look at the charts, Abe?
Ma'am, first winner got a gold medal, ma'am.
Say that again, Abe?
Ma'am, I want to say, ma'am, who first winner in any game got a gold medal.
Yeah, exactly. The winner gets the gold medal. Exactly. That's the sort of the true winner, but you could say out of so many athletes, it's very difficult to even get second is amazing. So that's why they acknowledge it with a prize. Yes. Hi, Isha.
Hi, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you, Isha?
I'm also good, ma'am. So how was your weekend, ma'am?
Yeah, very good. How was yours, Isha?
Mine is not bad, not good, ma'am. It's going well, you can say.
You know, bit restful.
I want one thing share with you, ma'am. Actually, my mother has planted some strawberry, ma'am. Now it's time to harvest. It has grown.
Very exciting. And have you tried them yet? Oh, Isha, I think you cut out.
6 to 7 inch, and I find it.
Did you try the strawberries yet? Yeah.
No, my mother doesn't allow me to pick the strawberry. Just wait for a week. If it will ripe, like it will be a red, deep red, then you can pick the strawberry. So first I have decided I will offer the God, then I will make the strawberry seed.
Well, I think they do say that your own ones are sort of better tasting.
Strawberry jam also.
Yeah, well, good luck. I hope you have fun sort of growing them and eating them. Are you planning to grow anything else?
Ma'am, nothing major, ma'am. Maybe next month I will go for a trip. I've decided because I'm feeling very bored, ma'am, from last 1 month. So I just want to go. I just want to visit a good place so I can get rid of all this stress.
Yeah, I know how you feel, Isha. I could definitely do the same. I'm also starting to think about trips. Did you watch the Olympic Games, Isha? That's the topic of today.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I love the Olympic Games. Sometimes I watch, but sometimes I'm not. I don't watch entire the game, but whatever I see in the news, so I follow this thing.
Did you watch the Winter Olympics that finished 2 days ago?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, so we've thought about it. There's a few issues to do with it. For example, that it was in China. There's issues of human rights. So we're going to think about that if we have time at the end of the lesson. We're just going to do some multiple choice questions now, thinking about the history of the Olympics and the Winter Olympics. So the first question, which country hosted the first ever Winter Olympics, not the first ever Olympics? Does anyone know? Does anyone guess?
Germany.
Germany? Not Germany.
France.
France. I think Maha was very good. She gave the first information about the first Olympics.
Yeah, ma'am.
The 2022 Winter Olympic mascot. Did anyone know what the mascot is? So a mascot is the thing that represents the Olympics. It's sort of the symbol that's meant to bring joy, and it's also a giant panda. Very good. So does anyone know why it was a panda?
Because, ma'am, it is related with China, ma'am.
Yeah, exactly.
Pandas are only found in China.
Yeah, exactly. The sort of national animal of China. The capital of China. So this is where the Winter Olympic Games were. I know most of you know.
Beijing, ma'am. Second one.
Beijing, of course. Beijing. Well done. Which is not an Olympic winter sport. We've already talked about some examples of Olympic sports. What do we think? We have fencing here, cross-country skiing, Nordic combined, or freestyle skiing. Fencing? Very good. Well done. Okay, the 2026 Winter Olympic Games, so the next Olympic Games. Does anyone know where it's going to be held next? Does anyone want to guess? Which country do you think bid on it?
Canada? I guess Canada.
Did someone say Canada? Not Canada.
Ma'am, Italy.
Italy?
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay.
So if things go well, the next 2026 Winter Olympic Games will be held in Italy. So as long as we don't have maybe another pandemic or some other issue. Okay, so we said that the first Winter Olympic Games was held in France. When were the first Olympic Games? So not the first Winter Olympic Games, but the first Olympic Games.
Greece.
Does anyone?
Greece.
You're right, but when were the first Olympic Games that were international?
1924, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. In which years were the Winter Olympics cancelled because of World War II? So which years did they not have the Winter Olympic Games because of the Second World War? The war.
The 1940 and 1944.
1942
Well
and
done.
1942.
Excellent. So the war was from 1939 until 1945. So in between those years, it was cancelled. Which Winter Olympic event has a broom as part of its equipment? We saw a picture of this. They have a broom is something you use to sweep, to clean.
Ice hockey, ma'am. Ice hockey.
Not ice hockey.
Curling.
No. Curling, excellent. We saw a picture of them scrubbing it so that it can allow that big thing that they push to smoothly ride on the surface. Okay. Which of these is not a Winter Olympic sport? I think this is an easy one now.
Swimming.
Swimming, of course, swimming. Which sport is this? We looked at pictures of this.
Luge.
Bobsled.
Not the luge. The luge is when they lean down and they're very flat. The bobsled, well done. The bobsled is when they actually sit in it. So there's a famous story about a Jamaican team. Jamaica is obviously not known for its winter sports because it's always hot there, and known for its running, but a Jamaican team tried to compete in the bobsled and they did really well. And Disney made a film of it, of the story. It's a really great story. I can't remember the name of the film, but it's a true story. They competed in the Winter Olympics despite never seeing snow, despite never being in winter conditions. It's a really, really fun story and really inspiring. Okay, maybe if anyone knows the name of that film, you can put it in the chat or tell me. So what sport is this? This is the one that requires the broom.
Curling?
Curling, yeah, of course it's curling. Which sport is this? We said what it's not. Can we remember?
Bobsled.
The luge, excellent. The bobsled is when they're sat down. The luge is when they lie down. Which sport is this?
Snowboarding.
Snowboarding, excellent. Okay. Which sport is this?
Figure skating.
Excellent. Well done. Figure skating. Which sport is this?
Skiing.
Skiing. Excellent. Well done. Okay. So a little bit more quizzes. I like the quizzes. Some of them might have some of the similar things that we've already done, similar answers. But I think it's a good way of thinking about the history of the Olympics. Does anyone have any questions? Leiba, I think your hand is raised. Do you have a question or is it just raised?
No, sorry. I raised my hand and I want to talk.
No problem.
Ma'am, I have one question, ma'am.
Yeah?
Ma'am, I want, this could be catastrophic to your health. Is it correct sentence?
Yeah, this could be catastrophic. So catastrophic, it's like saying awful. This could be awful for your health, but we would just change the preposition for a different adjective. So this could be catastrophic to your health is right for catastrophic, or this could be awful for your health. It's a fine sentence. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of the sports that are part of the Winter Olympics, which are not. What do we think? We've seen a lot that are not, that are just the Summer Olympics.
Biathlon.
Which one?
Biathlon.
Biathlon. Ice ball. There's no Winter Olympic sport called ice ball. A good guess. How often are the Winter Olympic Games held? It's a bit of an easy question. We know this now.
First one, every 4 years.
First one, ma'am.
Yes, of course. Excellent, Shalendra and Abe. Well done. Do we remember where the first Winter Olympic Games were held?
France.
Excellent. Well done, France. Well remembered. Learning a bit of Olympic history here. Sarika says catastrophic means dangerous. It can do. A catastrophe is something terrible, something awful. It could be because it's dangerous, or it could be because it's very sad. It's just a terrible event. A catastrophe is when things go wrong, when things don't go well. So Nordic, and we saw that this Nordic is something that's part of, is one of the sports. What do we think it's a combination of? Which two sports? Is it ice hockey and bobsleigh? Do those work? Is it figure skating and rifle shooting? Can you imagine figure skaters shooting? Or is it ski jumping and cross-country skiing? So it's a combination of two sports. What do we think? Which sports do you think go together, work well together? Does anyone have a guess?
Yeah, just see.
Pardon?
Ma'am, ice hockey. No, ma'am. Ski jumping and cross-country skiing. Third one.
Well done, yeah. Ice hockey and bobsleigh would be very difficult to do. Ice hockey players hit what with the stick? Do we know the name of the thing that they hit?
A puck.
A puck. Excellent. It's called a puck. Very good. It's that flat kind of ball. Australia has hosted the Winter Olympics. Is that true or false? What do you think? Has Australia hosted it? Can they host it?
Ma'am, true.
Okay, I heard true and false. What do we think? We need a third person to decide what is the most common answer. Does anyone think it's true?
True.
Okay, you think it's true? No, it's false. So Australia doesn't really have snow. Not a lot of places have snow. They would have to require...
October they had, in winter, in October they had Olympics there. I heard somewhere.
Not the Winter Olympics.
Okay.
So Australia has hosted the Summer Olympics, but not the Winter Olympics. They don't have enough snow. It's not cold enough. It would require them to bring a lot of fake snow. It just wouldn't be possible. Okay, which of these sports is not held indoors?
Bobsled.
Excellent, well done, yeah. Which sport is a combination of rifle shooting and cross-country skiing? So you shoot and you ski across the snow. Which sport is that?
Biathlon.
Biathlon, excellent, well done. Okay. The first official Winter Olympics were held in which year?
1924.
24.
Well done. Okay. Which year were women first allowed to compete in the ski jumping event?
1924.
Okay. 2014. Does anyone have an opinion on that? It's been a long time. Is anyone surprised by that?
Yes, ma'am. It's been, ma'am, 90 years.
Yeah, so...
What is the reason behind this not allowing women?
There are always various reasons. People argue that it can't happen, women can't do it. Some people always have different reasons. I don't know the specific ones that people decided they shouldn't. They didn't think about doing it. It's just one of those things. But a bit surprising. How many different disciplines are currently included in the Winter Olympics? So not how many different sports. So skiing is one discipline, but there are lots of types of skiing events. Does anyone know how many different kinds of sports?
8.
Say it again, Leiba.
8, I guess.
Can you say it again?
8, ma'am. 8.
8, ma'am.
8? No, 15. There's quite a few, but there's obviously more sports than that. You can see there are combinations of sports. There are different types of skiing, for example, different types of snowboarding, different things. Okay, we said this. We know that curling uses brooms and sticks. So what I want to think about now are some sports that you would include in the Olympics if you could include any. Would you include any sports, and would you take any away? So if you could add any sports to the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics, what sports would you add? Do you think there are any sports that should be added? Do you think any sports are maybe irrelevant or not right? Should they be taken away? So I don't know if cricket is actually in the Olympics. Does anyone know? Does anyone know if cricket is an Olympic sport?
No, cricket is not included in Olympic sports, I guess.
So would you add it to the Olympics if you could?
No, I will not. I will surely not add cricket, because cricket have too many events, and it's already so popular among the people. And Olympics should include only the games which are not that much popular, that just like cricket have so many events throughout the year, World Cup, ICC, and too many events the players can play.
Yeah, that's
But
a really
yeah, but the other games, I guess, they don't
Hockey.
get enough fame, and hockey and athletics, they don't get enough fame and recognition by people, because they don't they will athletes are not able to participate in so much events throughout the year. Once every four after every 4 years they will have to participate in Olympics, and after every 5 years a World Cup. But there is no such events like so many events as like cricket have, I guess.
Yeah, that's very true. So it's about bringing fame to the athletes, giving them a chance to compete on a world stage. We say world stage is when people from all around the world are involved and watching. And that doesn't happen for a lot of those sports that do compete in the Olympics.
Yeah, and I would like to say if I have the authority, I will uh, I will be organizing Olympics, summer and winter Olympics every 2 years, after every 2 years, and after not such a long time, so that other athletes and other players of other games could get the same events, not same number of events, but at least get events to play every 2 years and have some fame and recognition by the people in their country.
Yeah. So do you think it would change anything if it was held every 2 years? Would the athletes?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the athletes will get more opportunities to participate and to play and to show the people and the world, to show their talent and their game, their efforts. The other players and athletes work hard also, just like cricketers. They also work hard. They play the whole year. They practice for the whole year without any vacations, and they stick on their diets and everything. They have to manage according to their discipline sport.
Yeah. So there's not as much opportunity for them to show their skills, to compete.
Yeah.
So you think it would be better? What about the cost of hosting it? Do you think countries?
That's too much. No, that's too much. No, every country can't afford raising the same funds Olympics need to raise. Fundraising is a bit very difficult, and if it will be every 2 years.
Yeah. So what happens if it is every 2 years? Do you think more countries or less countries would volunteer to host? What do you think? Would there be enough
Yeah,
countries?
that will be an issue. In that case, that will be an issue, because there are so many undeveloped countries and developing countries. They wanted to participate in fundraising and they wanted to volunteer for Olympics, but they can't meet up the needs up to the scale.
I want to know, do we think we spend too much money on the Olympics?
Yeah, I guess these are the amount of Olympics fundraising and money is okay. I need the athletes and the teams should have such a protocol, and in the country in which it is hosted every 4 years Olympics. It must be like this, because the country which is hosting the country should have the transportation facilities and all those kinds of things the players need.
So do you think because this prevents a lot of countries from participating, they're not going to get chosen, they can't afford to bid or spend the money, does this mean that some of the Olympics is kind of unfair because not everyone can host, not everyone can participate in the same ways that host countries can? So it does tend to be the same countries that are sort of hosting the Olympics. China's hosted twice. I think Canada's hosted the Winter Olympics. You have the USA, you have France, European countries,
Tokyo,
Japan.
Yeah,
exactly. So it does tend to be the UK
almost
hosted.
every developed country, the country with great good economy is hosting the country because they can afford this.
Yeah. So they've hosted it sort of more than once. It gets to the point where they don't want to host it again. Do you think there is a way to help developing countries host the Olympics? Should the developed countries spend money to help undeveloped countries or developing countries host the Olympics? Maybe so it's money going to their economy and they are able to participate. What do we think? Would that be better?
Yeah, there should be a way. There should be a way that fundraising and the money and financial support to the developing countries. But this is an issue. It has to be resolved. But I guess though it is the way it is. It's always been since the Olympic Games has started. It's always been like this. The country with good economy is hosting always.
Excellent answers, Leva. Some excellent ideas. Does anyone else want to share their ideas on this topic? Yeah, Shailendra, what do you think?
If I had authority, I would, ma'am, give India opportunity to host next Winter Olympics.
Yeah. Why? How do you think India would benefit from the Olympics? Do countries benefit?
Yeah, ma'am. Because, ma'am, in India, there is one state, Jammu and Kashmir. It snows 3 to 4 months in a year, so we don't need any artificial snow for the sports. And other than that, ma'am, this state is underdeveloped. So if Winter Olympics, if we can host Winter Olympics there, it will boost its economy and it will give jobs and it will infuse lots of money into the state, and it will help the state to get more development.
Yeah. I don't know where the screen's gone, but that's a good point. There's development. There's also the infrastructure that's left behind. So the stadiums that are built, the places for people to do sport. Definitely in England, it was great that there were places for people to participate in sport after the Olympics. So it can really help people participate in sport, take part. It can create a new generation of athletes. If anyone else wants to share their opinion, please let me know. I want to finish with just thinking about the first Olympic Games, so the first Summer Olympic Games. Does anyone know when it was when it occurred, what year, and also how many games? So when did the first Olympic Games take place? So we said that the first Olympic Winter Games was in 1924, but when did the first modern Olympic Games take place? Not the ones in Greece. So the origin of the Olympic Games is from Greece, when people all over ancient Greece would come together to compete from the different states. Greece was split up to different states, but the first modern Olympic Games, does anyone know? It's in 18 something. Does anyone know how many games were part of the Olympics in the first Olympics? Does anyone want to guess? The first year, it's 1890 something. I want to take a guess.
1896.
1896, you're close. 1894. So the first modern Olympic Games took place in 1894. And does anyone want to guess how many games were part of that? It's a very low number, surprising number. So only one, there was only one sort of games. I think it was athletics. So there weren't all these other sports. There weren't soccer, there wasn't all these other things. It was just athletics. So we've come a long way since then. Things have changed a lot. There are so many more sports. We now have the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics, and so many more countries compete. So I want to know if you think it's a good thing on the whole or a bad thing, the Olympics. There's issues with countries getting it, which have human rights issues. We discussed that in the beginning. Sarika thinks it brings people together. It joins countries. have a think. Do you agree? Do you think the Olympics is a good thing? Does anyone want to share their opinion before we finish? Okay, so just have a think about it. So I think the Olympics is lots of controversial issues.
Ma'am,
lots of things.
I want
Yeah,
to share
Andrea?
one thought, ma'am. Instead of ma'am going on physical war, ma'am, we should compete on sports so that there is no need for war and there is no need to kill each other.
Yeah, that would be great. If it could lessen war. Maybe the Olympic Games has already helped reduce war. We don't know. But I think I agree with Sarika. It definitely brings people together a little bit. It can. So hopefully it's a positive future. So thank you everyone for sharing your ideas and your thoughts on this topic. I hope you found it interesting. We will do a different topic on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday, but it'll be a speaking topic. So again, if anyone has any requests, please let me know. We will try to do something topical, but it won't be about the Olympic Games. If anyone has any questions, please let me know on Thursday. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. And
yes,
a
ma'am.
good
Thank you so
last
much,
Tuesday.
ma'am.
Thank you, Abe. Have